Alright. Okay, I think this will be good for now. So anyways, don't worry, an actual FNF cover of this. Am I the only one here? Maybe. But, yeah. Today is gonna be me reading the freaking hog lore because I already read the whole thing. I'm not sure if there's gonna be a freaking part 2, depending how long I'm gonna read it. But I'm gonna start reading right now because I don't want to waste up any time. So let me check out my live stream first. Alright. Anyways. Whew. Alright then. First of all, we gotta find good music. If not, then Jesus. Ed, please, we just want to start reading the hog lore. Alright, so this is a real lore thing in case if you don't know or seen the video. It's from himself, the legend who made Hog and Scorch. So I'm gonna start reading it right now. So there might be part 2 depending how long I'm gonna read it. So yeah, I'm not gonna play the hedge music right now. I'm just gonna wait until the perfect time is ready. So in a few seconds I'm gonna start reading it. Yeah, I already did cry. What happened to Hog? Anyways, I'm reading this through my phone, so hoping my voice won't be that quiet. So yeah. Before we begin, let me drink some water and no interruptions. Anyways, so let's start with the Hog lore. The story begins with an add-on of Hog the Tenric. Oh yeah, fun fact, Jack himself changed Hog to a Tenric, if I'm saying the animal name right. So yeah, anyways, the story begins when the add-on of Hog the Tenric is inserted to a Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Knuckles cartridge. The add-on works in a similar way to what a lock-on technology does, except that instead of it adding a new playable character, it replaced the whole game entirely with brand new assets, using the original cartridge as a base. The specific add-on is a collection of 3 games, Hog the Tenric 1, 2, and Hog the Tenric 3 plus Fist. Each one of them is a expansion of the original Sonic the Hedgehog games, containing new features and looks for each one of them. After insertion, sorry if I'm not saying the words right because, you know, ugh. I'm just gonna read it through phone because I'm not going to set it up right there. Because, anyways, after its insertion, everyone living within the game gets thrown into a void where hidden or unused assets go. Oh yeah, I'm not going to. This is the most monotone I ever heard you. Reminder, I'm a shy reader, so I don't usually read things out loud, but I'll actually voice that. And don't worry, I'll use parallel voice, so yeah. Anyways, no interruptions! I won't be looking through the live chat. Pretend this is just the narrator speaking this out. After its insertion, if I'm saying the name right, everyone living within the game gets thrown into a void where hidden or unused assets go. This includes scrap enemies, levels, sprites, music, and other secrets that could only be accessed through a sound test or debug mode. The void has a unique effect. When the assets are contained within it and have no major issue, it strips away code in order for it to be reused later on. This also applies to characters. The precise oof the cast immediately, and the moment they enter, leaving nothing but a lifeless lifeless bodies to float endlessly in the void to rot. This affected everybody except Sonic. Oh yeah, if you hear me stuttering, trying to read it out loud, then I'm sorry. Anyways, we're in this part now, so the add-ons does not create new coding when it comes to his main character controls. It reused the pre-existing code as a base and adds onto it to create new abilities. This imports details lets Sonic prevail even after being thrown into the void. Sonic wakes up after being unconscious. He analyzing his surroundings. Now just imagine that, you guys. He analyzing his surroundings and notice. Okay, no interruptions. He analyzing his surroundings and notice he's in a barren place with random objects floating around. Some perfectly cut squares of the terrain that had traversed appeared to be thrown about like a chaotic college of random things. Bushes, trees, boulders, scraps, all floating in the air. Numbers and letters spread around the sky as if if they were pink clouds. It was very confusing to look at. After looking at everything, he decided to turn around and explore a bit more of this place, but it would soon see a radical change. Oof, animals, I'm not going to say the actual word, were scattered on the pitch black floor. Some of them had chunks of their body missing, others had their faces ripped apart, and they were distorted beyond recognition. Turn up your volume just in case, because my voice is quiet and I refuse to wake somebody up. So, yeah, reminder, my voice can get really loud, so I don't want to disturb anybody who are sleeping or busy. So, yeah, turn up your own volume because I am trying to make my voice really quiet. My voice only gets loud whenever I talk to friends, so yeah. Alright. Here comes the part where Sonic realizes what in the world is he right about now, so. Geez, this place is like something out of a nightmare, Sonic comments while walking amidst the chaos. He finds Tails lay on the floor, his back facing towards him. Tails? Tails! Sonic rushes over to help. Buddy, let's get you out of here. This place is giving me the creeps. Sonic turns Tails around. He jumps back from the shock and horror. So many thoughts rush through his head, and at that moment, he would mutter, No, 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 no! Sonic screamed panic, then he would proceed to quickly pick Tails up. I'll find help! You'll be fine! He runs aimlessly, looking in every direction for a solution. Sonic eventually slows down and stops. How did this happen? He would ask himself. Please, don't die on me. Tails, please. He would quietly mutter. Sonic will kneel down and cry on the body of his best friend. I'll find out who did this to you. Sonic whimpered. I'll not stop until I find him. Oh yeah, reminder, I can't do a perfect Sonic voice, so if a real actual voice actor comes in to do this, then yeah. Anyways, determined to search for an answer, Sonic laid down the oh no, Tails of his friends and decided to scout the area to see what he could find. If an ant could stop. Some of these areas were very large and suspicious. The more he searched around, the more lost he got. Minutes turned into hours. Hours turned into days. He was feeling drained. He would eventually stumble across Knuckles and Eggman. Both seemed to be disfigured in the same way as Tails was. Knuckles has chunks of his body missing. Eggman has his lower heft. Ooh. Don't want to imagine that, huh? Burst down the door. Hi. Hello! At this point, he felt so emotionally exhausted that he couldn't feel anything. The only thing that he could feel was his anger towards who was responsible for this. Soon enough, the void would start taking effect on Sonic's body. His clothes will darken in color, and his skin would start to fuse with his fur. It felt as if someone was pulling on his skin as hard as they could to the point it was going to rip. At this point, Sonic was starting to give up. It was hopeless. He fought. He lay down, waiting for the void to eventually oof him off and finally end the torment. It was all so quiet, you would start to hallucinate and hear things like birds chirping and wind calmly passing through the plants. It all felt so real to him. He missed it very much. In his own head, he could hear the sounds of people speaking. He missed the resting near a palm tree with his best buddy as he rambled and on about nerdy stuff. Wait a minute. Sonic would open his eyes and snap out of his flashback. He looked to his right side and noticed a shred of light. Voices could be heard coming from out of it, but it was all muffled. They were too far away for him to make out what they were saying. He would start to sprint towards, but it was noticing that his legs are too weak to run. However, he could use the force himself to keep going, limping every could. He wanted to see what that light was. Hey! Hey! Over here! This sound sounded familiar. It sounded like Tails. The feeling of hope soon Sonic filled. Sorry, let me repeat myself. The feeling of hope soon filled Sonic's heart. Maybe all of this was just a nightmare. Maybe he will wake up soon. He limped faster, forcing himself to run. Come on! You can do it! The voice motivated him. Tails, I'm coming, wait! Sonic reassured his buddy, filled with more hope as he moved onward. There we go. Took you a bit, huh? The voice spoke in playful manner. Wait, what? Sonic slowing his pace, starting to become more confused and cautious. Phew. Yeah, sorry about that, Prowler. I really got to lay off those corn dogs, uttered an unknown voice. It's fine. Let's keep moving. You never know when... Prowler unknowingly steps into a trap and gets his leg tied up in the rope, leaving him dangling. If it isn't Hog the Tenric, the notorious Dr. Yoke made his grand reveal. Yoke! Hog and Prowler were surprised by the sudden appearance of the Mad Doctor. Sonic would look at the screen, visibly confused. It all looks so different, yet so familiar. Hello? Can everybody hear me? Sonic screams, calling out for him. Let me out of here! I'm trapped! He bangs into the screen, hoping to get their attention. To no avail. Sonic would attempt time and time again to establish contact and see if they could help him get out, but nothing worked. Eventually, he just gave up and watched them through the screen. He noticed that they behaved in the same way that people around him used to. Wait a minute. Oh, I get it. Upon realizing, Sonic chuckles lightly. They're mocking me, mocking the fact that I'm suffering here, and they have what was once mine. Why? Sonic said quietly, on the verge of a mental breakdown. Why? He screams and he thrusts his fist against the screen, increasingly desperate for an answer. What did I do to deserve this? I risked my life to save others, and this is the thanks I get. He continues to hit the screen harder as the peak of his meltdown. What did I do? Answer me! He starts to punch on the screen fiercely. What did I do? Slowing down, his voice begins to break, now particularly on his knees. What did I do to deserve this? He breaks down into tears, his world completely showered. Oh! I would voice that really loudly, but I can't. It's late at night. I don't want... Yeah. Anyways. Continuing on. In the void, he could do nothing but observe. Observe for days, months, years. Every day, he would look at them. His frustrations, fears as time went on. 4 years has passed. His body now was heavily warped, bearing no resemblance to what he was before. His skin was scratched around and merged with his fur in some points. His quills are darkened in color. His face is underground and most damaged. His cheeks pulled far back to the point of almost being torn from his face, exposing his bare gums and teeth. His eyes were very how can I say this word? Detailed. I'm sorry, I gave up on saying that word. detailed to the point that they looked like they were almost completely blackened. By now, his anger has completely broken him. Whatever the trace of Sonic within him had been seemingly completely erased. The thoughts that lingered within his mind were to get rid of the impersonators. Ugh, how can I say that word? To fix his world and return to his normal life, he would dwell and contemplate on it. By any means necessary, he would see this through. During his imprisonment, he would observe the world that Hog resides in and would notice not only the similarities, but also the major difference. For instance, the Chaos Emerald had been changed to something called the Power Rubies. They work very similarly to the Emeralds, needing all seven to transform. The difference being that each Power Ruby has the capability of giving special ability to its pleasure. It could be possible Sonic fought for him to manifest into the physical form by collecting one of them. All he needed to do now was wait until the right time to test that theory. Wonder what Hog would like if he was modern. I think Jack did a freaking modern version of Hog. Yet again, I don't remember. I had to look back. Anyways, the perfect moment, I had to go back and find it. I don't know. I will do it after the stream's over. The perfect moment arrives when Hog set off to collect the same rubies. This gives Sonic the opportunity to plan out his move. If he could break the barrier that he was keeping him from his world, he would be able to snatch one of the power rubies. He looked at the screen and pierced into the sky. He saw a black bar on the top of the screen, seeing a bit of himself before disappearing. He assumed that the only way to get in the game was through breaking through the floor beneath him. Time was running short, however, as Hog was close to reaching the power rubies. Sonic began to use his legs to jump over the barrier, hoping to break it after applying enough force. With each heavy landing, the pressure started to worsen his bones. They were starting to abruptly snap and crack. Each stomp gave a sickening crunch, each one of the worst at last. Sonic clenched on his teeth in anguish, but he insists on pushing on. Come on! Break! Break, damn you! With one last landing on the black barrier that separates the void and the sky gives away, he starts falling into the clouds and eventually lands on the top of the ruby. Sonic has collected that power ruby. Suddenly, Sonic would open his eyes from shock. It seems that the nightmare was over at last. His body was no longer in the pain state it was in for the last 4 years of his imprisonment. However, despite that, something was still not right. Huh? He looked at his hands. These weren't his gloves. Speaking of which, hold on. A little break time. Let me check on the server real quick. Okay, hold on. I need a drink first. Hold on, I'll still continue the voice acting. Anyways. Okay, let's continue. There you are! Prowler approached him. Did you get the power ruby, Hog? Hog? My name isn't. Sonic with his serve in his gloves, his torso in his shoes. Something was wrong. He was no longer Sonic the Hedgehog. He was then controlling Hog's body. The plan had worked, but not the way he hoped. No! 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 This isn't right! Why didn't it work? Sonic grips his fist in frustration. Hog, are you okay? Prowler acts in concern and confusion. Sonic would sharply turns toward Prowler. You. Sonic instantly begins to sprint towards Prowler, getting him in a chokehold. Why, you little... Okay, anyways. You ooped him, and you're just pretending to be him! What are you talking about? Prowler struggles as he chokes for air. Don't lie to me! You know what you done! Sonic fumbles Prowler to the ground. I'll make you pay for what you did to Tails! He tightens as he grips on Prowler's voice. Please, stop! Prowler continuously struggles to breathe with the light in his eyes beginning to fade before he could finish the job. Sonic's hands were suddenly empty, and the scenery around him was non-existent. He was trapped in the void once again. Huh? Hog would regain his consciousness, noticing that he was choking Prowler, letting go immediately. Prowler, what happened? Are you okay? Am I okay? What got it to you? You were strangling me! Prowler angrily shouts. I don't understand. I just blinked and my hands were around your neck. I don't know what's happening. Hog started to freak out, wondering if he actually did it or not. Well, Pearl coughs as he slowly gets up, catching his breath. Whatever that was, it won't excuse for you from almost popping off my head, off my shoulders. Oh yeah, if you hear me losing my breath, sorry. I'm sorry. Despite him having no recollection, Hog is ashamed of himself. Whatever, let's just go. Prowler says enthusiastically. Again, if you hear me not saying the words right, I'm sorry. Both Hog and Prowler leaves the scene. Sonic wakes up, noticing that he is back in the void. With rage, would return and the boiling point breaking. No! Why am I back here? Why? I almost had it! He suddenly stops himself. It couldn't be. He thought he would regain his focus and looks toward his right. He decides to walk towards it, questioning if he had finally reached his breaking point. The closer he got, the more viscerally real it looked, and almost like he could reach and grab it. And he did. Look at how you gleam and shine. Your faint glow, so beautiful. As the glow in his hand, the small chuckle grew into the maniacal crackle. Sonic the Hedgehog was now a distant memory. With the ruby in hand, the similarities between his world and the Hog were especially evident. He and Hog were one and the same. Every time Hog would collect a ruby, it also counted Sonic collecting them as well. Since Sonic had a way to gain power, all he had to do was wait until Hog collected all of the 7 power rubies. He would be able to fix his world and finally go back to his old life. Hog will eventually start collecting more rubies to take down Yoke Man. For instance, he collected more of the world he would start to distort. At first, it wasn't obvious, but then it became apparent to Sonic that the world was surely changing. For Hog, however, all this seemed was to be the same. As Hog acquired the last ruby, he would feel the mind slipping away. Sonic was once again in control. Prowler would walk into the scene. He would find Hog and noticing that he was standing still. Looking at the wall, Prowler had previously sensed that the Hog was being controlled by something already. Prowler attempts to back away slowly as he finally understands what's going on. Sonic, already suspecting that Prower had acknowledged of who they really were, turned around quickly as launched himself at the Fennec Fox. Caught by surprise, Prower gets hit in the face first, flinging back and hitting the dirt on the wall behind him. Sonic approached him slowly. You finally figured it out, huh? Sonic puts Prower in the chokehold. Too bad for you, you won't be telling anyone about this. I don't think so. Prowler pulls his blaster out and fires a shot. Prowler walks to Sonic, aiming at the blaster towards his head. Let her go! Hold on a second, my throat is slowly dying as soon as I was more of the voice acting. Said Hog while whistling, charging his blaster. Go ahead, shoot me, and you'll lost your friend. Sonic creepily grins at Prowler. Who said this part? Hold on. Okay, I think it's Prowler. I don't know if it's Sonic or Scourge. I don't know. Not quite. I know where your power is coming from. The next shot is going to erase all of the power ruby energy in your body. You'll not be in control anymore. Whoever or whatever you are. So what it will be? Your way or my way? Prowler aims at Sonic. The standoff was tense. Sonic suddenly gets up and kicks Prowler, starting a long fight between them both. Sonic and Prowler would eventually come to a standstill, both being worn out from the fight. You're very resilient. Sonic catches his breath. And you're a coward. Prowler uttered in a mocking manner. You're a parasite, ripping off my friend's body to live? You disgust me. Yeah, but there's one thing about parasites. Sonic looks at Prowler. He runs at Prowler at super speed. And sickening the bones crush echo through the air. Prowler felt a sharp pain pierce through his abdomen, with it coming out of his back. He looks down and sees that Sonic shove his fist through his body. They thrive! Sonic grins monstrosely at Prowler, his teeth and his gums fully exposed. Oh my throat! Slowly dying. Anyways, where was I? Oh yeah. He would grab the lower half of his wounded Prowler and in half would be flung into the air and would shower down into the earth. Soon after, Hog would wake up to see his best friend completely molded and disfigured. Why had he done it? What got into him? He would approach a Prowler carcass, shock from the aftermath. He would kneel down, screaming in anguish and guilt, hoping that this is the one big nightmare. Sonic had let Hog take control, so he could see him suffer like he did. He relished every single moment. With his objective now complete, he would regain full control of Hog's vessel and attempt to use power rubies to manifest into a physical form. We're almost 30 minutes, and yeah, once it hits 1 hour, I'll take a break. I don't know. Ugh. With all 7, he allowed them to work their magic, yet nothing happened. He pressed on, but after each attempt, nothing seemed to be working. At first, he was very confused, but then he came to at the full realization. If the power rubies were the equivalent of the Chaos Emeralds, then there would have to be an equivalent to the Master Emerald, the last possible resort. This equivalent is known as the Giga Ruby, a gem that's so powerful that it can lift the whole island and make it float in the sky. It is located within a place called Heaven's Island. which protected by a mighty warrior. That warrior is known as Fist, and Pangolin that came from the legend of tribesmen that vows to protect the Giga Ruby. Their strength, including Fist, came from the gem, who gave the Guardians an incredible amount of power. Fist has always stood guard near the Giga Ruby, always watching it carefully. That was his one true purpose. Staying guard wasn't easy, however, since it required being alert at all times and a lot of patience. One of the things he was taught by his ancestors was expect the unexpected, which would mean that any kind of threat could harm him or the gem. Giga Chad. Rain started to pour down the island. Fist sensed an uneasy purge approaching the gym at lethal speed. He already knew what could possibly go super fast and interest in his Giga Ruby. This presence was definitely no stranger to him. Hog! Fist puts his hands up and prepares himself for a fight. On Beast known to him that this would be his last. Sonic arrived, determined to get his hands on the Giga Ruby. He had sworn to himself that he was going to get it. He looked at Fist, who was standing in the stairway leading to the altar. What brings you here, Dust Devil? Looking for trouble? Fist looks at Sonic. Sonic ignores Fist's question, instead of focusing on the gym standing behind the Pangolian. I see. Very well then. Fist makes the first strike, hitting Sonic at the face first and knocking him off the stairs and onto the ground, face down with a broken tooth. First come serve. I'm glad that you see my way, Fist smirked with pride. Give me more reason to compel you back to where you came from. He cracks his knuckles in reputation. Show me what you're truly made of. He gestures for him to come closer. Sonic gets up and wipes his dripping down his mouth. He charges with a spin dash and quickly launches himself at Fist. Fist managed to catch up and Sonic and plummets him to the ground. They would fight for hours with seemingly no sign of stopping. A visually exhausted Fist managed to tackle Sonic and began punching him instantly. You're pathetic! You're weak! Come on, fight! Fight back! Fight back! Now! Sonic finally managed to punch Fist away. He pulls out a blaster aimed at Fist and fires. Sonic lips close to Fist, looking down at him. I think your gun malfunctioned. Still want a piece of me? I ain't done yet. Not by a long shot. Fist looks up at Sonic. Sonic would continue approach silently. Fist gets up. I don't want a piece of you. I want the whole thing! Fist throws a punch and hits Sonic. Upon the impact, he felt the pain passing through his hand. The gun drained all the power energy within, weakened him. What did you do to me? You ain't acting like yourself! Fist looked at his hands. I took the liberty and relieved you of what wasn't yours in the first place, said Sonic. Oh, my throat! Oh gosh, my throat is slowly and more dying. He walks up to the Giga Ruby and touches it. Bring my friends back. Sonic whispers to the Giga Ruby. His body glows in display exactly, and the multiple figures suddenly appear. Tails, Tails, Robotnik, and Knuckles were brought back to life. They were all Now just imagine that, but creepy. Withered and torn as they were undead. What the? Sonic looks at them in shock. The undead stumble to reach Fish by means necessary. Stay back, you freaks! Back off! Fist attempts to fight back with no avail. Fist gets pinned down by them. And here goes the creepy part of the lore. Okay, I need another break time. I need a drink. Just imagine. Anyways, everybody doing okay? While I'm just reading the lore from Jack? Or... Fine but sick. Aw. I hope you feel better, by the way. Okay, I need to rest up my voice more because I have been speaking well, you know. Okay, before we get back to reading, I know there's only few people watching, so yeah. Anyways, let's get back to reading, shall we? Oh god, I don't want to. I can imagine something is gonna happen, but yet again, I don't know. But yeah, this is gonna be me rating. Each of the undead would restrain him, digging their teeth and clawing their hands into his. Ooh. I'm not gonna say the thing, but you have to read the lore yourself from the Google Doc. Fizz continues to struggle amidst the crowd of as they suddenly each his screams effectively starts to turn into wailing. The torment fell within would overwhelm him to such an extent that words could not be uttered. Pain was only the feeling that he could express. The agonizing screams begin to accompany by ugh. Jesus. With his last ounce of strength, he tries to crawl away, his life hanging on by thread. After a few seconds pass, the pangolian finally succumbs to pain and lays motionless. Sonic was glad that Fist has been dealt with in the most brutal way possible. It was almost as if he had enjoyed watching the event of unfold in front of him. As soon as the Pangolian warrior collapsed to the ground, the undead intensities would flow away. Sonic would glance at the giga ruby once more. This had to work this time. Please work. Sonic began to climb up the ruby. Oh, there is a lot more to read. My throat is slowly dying as more I'm reading. I don't know how far I am, but if my throat doesn't go that last, I'll take a break here. Because, I don't know, hoggers. I'm gonna probably end the stream once it hits 50 minutes, because I need the rest of my throat. Anyways, enough talking. After reaching the top, Sonic laid his hand down onto it and slowly harnesses his power. As a result, his body started to float and glow. He could feel the power rushing through him. The light and ambient from the transforming was so strong that it pierced the sky like a blade. He started to change. His fur and skin would turn to a vibrant gold. His quills would point upwards, and it felt very resemblant of the old days. He missed using this power to save his friends from trouble. Oh, more reading. I'm gonna end the stream once it hits 50 minutes because my throat is slowly dying the more I'm reading. However, something was wrong. His body began to expand and contract in unnatural ways. The pressure was so great and that his arms and legs were ripping apart, tearing at his in such a way that the muscles within were clearly exposed. His snout was stretched and the skin around his jaw rotted away. Most of his bones were broken or completely replaced by muscle. His body was also set ablaze. After a painful event was over, Sonic will land on the ground. He opened his eyes and stood up, realizing that he was much taller than before. But this wasn't the outcome that he had hoped for. His body now reflected what he has become. A nightmarish amalgamation consisting of his own body and the terror he was possessing, an atrocious mistake. Finally, now Yoke Man arrives. Yoke Man will arrive shortly in as attempt to steal the giga ruby. His face would instantly be filled with terror at what was being displayed before him. Three undead Mobians consumed the Pangolian warriors, flushing a massive charged monster that faintly resembled his nemesis. Sonic looks at Yoke Man and growls. This hedgehog now knew nothing more than hatred and destruction. As he got up and would forcefully snap his broken arms and back into place and unleash a mighty roar towards the doctor. Despite being filled with fear, Yeoman would take his opportunity to quickly swoop in and take the Giga Ruby. Sonic then dashed towards Yeoman, beginning an instant chase. 40 minutes late, I'm so sorry, Faith. It's okay. I'm just in the part where, oh no, Yokeman has to run away from Scorch. Yokeman aboard his Yoke-mobile would quickly fly away from the island and head into a place called Sacred Everzone. This world equivalents to Sky Sentry Zone. Sonic attempted to grab Yokeman would throw himself down in the island, seemingly missing his target. Yokeman sighed in relief, thinking that Scorch has met his fate. That moment was short-lived, however, as he spotted the abomination once more, flying towards him in the hopes of catching him off guard. Yokeman shifts the engines of his machines to maximum power in order to outspeed the hedgehog's beast. Oh! You know, level game beast forms. Oh my gosh! They both arrived as sacred ever. Sonic lunged at Yokeman in an attempt to restrain him, but Yokeman dodges out of the way. Despite the stroke of luck, Yokeman saw the machine has been damaged during the high speed of flight. Before Sonic could focus on fighting Yokeman again, scientists would swiftly deploy a robot that could maybe defeat this abomination, or at the very least slow down for a while as he fixes the machine. Say hello to my newest creation! Announced Yokeman. The robot would fly towards Yokeman as soon as the defense stances proceed to utter his command. Warhog Mark II, target acquired, awaiting further instructions. Ugh! Sour Patch ruined the moment. She like Hog for real. I can't wait for Hog to say, "You took everything from me," and Hog goes, "Nuh-uh." Warhog proceeds to pull up his arms and aim towards Sonic. Oh, Warhog must probably have a voice. I might figure that later on. Warhog proceeds to pull his arms and aim towards Sonic. His arms will proceed to turn into canyons. In a fit of rage, Sonic began dashing towards Yokeman. But before he could even reach him, Yokeman relayed his next command in his little machine. Fire! Machine's missile deployed from the Warhog's arm cannons. They would all hit the Sonic and send chunks of his blade into the air. The resulting explosions would make the hedgehog veer off, of course, and hit a wall. I'm losing my breath if I keep reading. I might take a break there and probably continue it probably in the afternoon or morning time. Yet again, I do not know. I mean, we're close to the ending of the story of the lore, so let me get one more water break. This probably might be part 1, maybe. I don't know. Where was I? Oh yeah. Sonic, now impatient, would empower his body with the ruby engaged and concentrate the heat within him, setting himself on a fire process. A bright glow would emanate from his charged skin with a lava-like liquid oozing from the exposed flesh. Hoglord be like, in an attempt to gain the upper hand, Warhog would fly to the top of the giga ruby and power himself into super. Proper clash between the savage hedgehog and Meneteric would begin. The destructor finding powerless. Ugh. I can't speak anymore. My throat is slowly dilating. I'm slowly losing breath. Let me breathe. Whew. Study! Study SimPXC! Is this your voice? Yes. Grandma? Yes, I am a grandma, Paul. Anyways, a proper clash between the savage hedgehog and Metal Terror could begin. The destructor finding powerless would leave nothing but a rubble in their wake. Despite their best efforts to destroy one another, they both were equally matched in their power. After a good amount of time passed, the machine had finally given out. It had run out of power due to the intensive, breathless fighting session. Sonic would grab the robot and fiercely hit him against the Giga Ruby. He would pull the robot body into his right hand as the liquid oozed from the Sonic palm. The once metal robot would turn into nothing more than a shallow puddle of the floor. After that, Sonic would focus on the attention on Yoke Man, who had just repaired his Yoke-mobile. Oh, come on, there's only a few minutes left, Dave. Sonic would try to spin dash from his bear, however, he was minutes too late. The cunning scientist had quickly hop into his now fixed vehicle, was starting to fly away. Oh, yeah, this stream will end in 50 minutes. Almost. Toward the end of the chase, the deformed hedgehog would jump at and release in a burst of speed midair, catching up to Yoke Man and piercing the doctor's flying machine, effectively decommissioning it. He constructed the Yoke Man while both of them hurled towards Heaven's Island. The resulting impact would leave an enormous crater to the ground. This would leave Yoke Man with both his legs broken due to the fall. After getting up, Sonic walked to him and firmly grasped the doctor's face. The terrified man would try to reason with him. I'm slowly losing my breath, guys. Sorry. I'll continue half. It's almost over, but I'll continue half maybe in the morning or afternoon. Oh, please! Begged Yoke Man. Don't use me! If it's power you want, I could help you with that. I could just need more time to rebuild my aircraft. Then I could easily transport the Giga Ruby for you, said Yoke Man. Sonic would clench Yoke Man's face. Burn. Yoke Man instantly catches on fire. His flesh turns it from red to black within minutes. The scientific genius had turned nothing but more than a pile of ashes. Right as Sonic has put an end to Yoke Man, begin him hearing a voice inside of his head. Stop! Get out of my body! Get out! Said the voice. Sonic will lose composure. He felt as his control of his body slowly fading away. Another force was trying his damnedest to assert his presence. For a while, Hog would retain control of his body and try to repress Sonic influences, but the hedgehog wouldn't give in so easily. After strongly for a moment, both of them were separated from each other. Faith's voice is so sweet, and then when I suddenly heard that bird, they would get up and stare at each. I actually got scared. This is how low my voice gets. Sorry. They would get up and stare at each other. You killer! Hog spin dashes at Sonic and lands on his quick blow. You pay for what you did! Hog shouts with anguish. And it will end and this will end in a cliffhanger because my throat is slowly dying. Yeah, I'm actually losing my breath here, but I'll continue the rest maybe in the morning or afternoon. Because, yeah, I'm close. I'm close. Oh, yeah. I'm slowly losing my breath as more as time I'm reading this. But hey, it's a new record, I guess. No, you. Hey guys, what do you guys think of my voice acting? I'm slowly losing my breath here, okay? By the time I'm reading this will be like, you know, probably edited or not by Jack himself. So, do you guys want to see a part two? Because I know by fact that this literally ends with a freaking cliffhanger. Don't worry, I'll try to do it in the morning or afternoon. So, yeah, I'll do the last bit. Anyways, yeah, I need to rest up my voice. Oh, I've been reading it. It's like 51 minutes now. Anyways, yeah, hog sweep. Everyone, before I end the stream, say hog sweep or scorch sweep, depending which one you like more. Please. Say hog or scorch sweep. Please, my voice is slowly dying. There's only 7 people watching. Lost memory. Wait, what do you mean, Simpy C? IHOP. Please. Hog sweeples. Oh my gosh. Anyways, yeah. That's the first half of the freaking, hog lore. I'll do the last bit by tomorrow. It might be short, but I'll continue where I left out. So, yeah, I feel bad for Hog. If I cry over to this, once I start reading it, then, yeah. Well, it would have been cool if, Nominal sees my, wacky voice acting, but, yeah. Anyways, yeah, I need to rest up my voice now. Lore real, not fake? Yes, this is real lore, coming from Jack. Can't you see? Can't you see? Anyways, yeah, I need to rest up my voice now. It's nice talking to you guys. I got like 13 likes for me reading it while my voice is like slowly losing breath. I will not be replaced! Anyways, yeah, bye!